All right, so we are going to start with a project, and in the project we are going to use a line. And you have to get to know lines because it's like kind of the foundation of everything you can begin to consider. A line is a moving dot. Okay, so if I have point A, which is here, and point B, which is there, the line tells me how I got from point A to point B. So if I carefully ghost and get my line kind of figured out before I even touch my pen to the paper, make sure that the path is clear, and all right, that's my line. If point A is here and point B is here, my line could also kind of travel like this. All right, that is fair. It could travel like that. Point A could be here, point B could be there, and we have a zigzag. So in each of these cases, point A and B were pretty close to the they had a similar relationship to each other. One was on the left side, one was on the right side, and even though our A and B's were pretty close to the same, we have one, two, three different types of lines that we were able to draw. Math and art have something in common. In math, put math over here. If two lines travel in the same direction, and if they were to be perfectly straight, I know they're not, but in theory they are perfectly straight, and they go on forever, and they never hit, they would be called parallel. Spelling error possible there. In art, if two lines follow the same path, they are said to share the same contour. And we'll get into application later, but just understanding that when two lines travel in the same direction, they have the same contour is the important takeaway for this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you this. First off, when you draw a line, if you set your start point and if you set your end point, and then if you ghost a few times, just like a golfer lining up their swing and draw, you are going to know how well or how poorly you did on the line. In this case, the line I wanted was straight. I got a straight line, and my only flaw is that I went a little bit too far. But that's okay. I'd rather miss and know I missed instead of not even knowing whether or not I missed. If you messed up something and you didn't know you messed it up, that's pretty dangerous because then you don't know like what you need to fix. For example, if I just wing a line out there, I don't know if that line is too short or too long. I don't know where the stopping point is. I don't have any like reference. Another thing you want to, if you start and finish points here, another thing you want to keep in mind is, drawing speed matters. But it's a car with no brakes is pretty dangerous, though, right? So you might have to put the brakes on sometimes. So I would say that if you're really trying to like zip through a line, okay, look at that. See, like, all right, I missed, and then you can even see so right there you can see the miss. And then right back here, you can see like the recoil because I was like just pitching out this hyper fast line. Okay, so I'd say too fast. All right, and then over here, okay, so maybe I'll really slow it down. Okay, I didn't do that on purpose. That's what happens when you draw like too slow. You get the wobble. And I'm going to give myself a little extra space for this next one, so we're going to move these down because I want this one to be the just right bowl of porridge, the third bowl of porridge that Goldilocks tried. So 1 and 2, can feel it in my arm, and 3. All right, woohoo! Look at that. And the only error is that error. I didn't quite hit my mark, but if I had to say, I'd say that is like 1% bad. Okay, whereas so for assessing, this one with the wobble, I think the wobble, this is like 12% bad. And then I think the line that went all the way over is like 20% bad. and I'm just kind of guessing the percentages. What I'm really trying to get at here is in art, nothing you ever do is going to be perfect. So you kind of have to like identify, which battle you want to fight, and just kind of minimize your errors. No one makes perfect art. It's just that you get to the point where you minimize your errors, and as you minimize your errors, the average person is like less easy to perceive your errors. So here's my demo sheet of paper. What we are going to do is we're going to set a few conditions, not rules, conditions for a project. Your conditions can be the things you have. They can also be the things you don't have. If conditions are wet and rainy outside, okay, those aren't good conditions for the chickens and the hens. They'll go back in the coop. But if it's wet and rainy outside, the ducks are going out to play. So don't think of conditions as a good thing or a bad thing. It's all relative to your situation in life. The conditions are this. You're going to set as few as 3 and as many as 7 lines. The lines must go from one end of the page to the other. They also must not cross. An example of lines crossing would be this. All right. An example of lines hitting would be this. Your lines may hit, but they must not cross. Your way of doing this is to go from top of the page to bottom. If I didn't have that top to bottom one, I could do left to right, but I could do here to here, and 3. All right, so those are my 3 starter lines. I encourage you to try more or less. If you want to try and do this with one line, you're welcome to it. It's just sometimes work made with one line is not super interesting. So what we're going to do is we are going to follow the contour of the previous line. If it hits the page, that's fine. Just kind of like cheat it, get rid of it. There. 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 In events where these 2 lines meet, you can handle it a number of ways. You could bring it down and here. The other option is to bring it down and to turn. Oof, that's a bad line. Let's get that one out of there. I'll try it again. Still getting used to the magic of the YCOM. The same thing happened. Oh man! And you know what's gonna be? Maybe I'll try it from the other angle. What's gonna be really funny is you guys don't have the edit undo feature on a piece of paper. But don't worry, the rest of my demos are going to be on a piece of paper. You're going to go until the space is totally filled up. And an interesting thing, I think, is that depending on where you start, your project is going to change. Different areas of the page create different relationships between the contours of the line. This you may also see in topographic, I should say, maps. So thanks for watching this. This is our content for the project. We're going to take some questions and then get into demo and instruction next.